And welcome into a hump day edition of the Backstage Pass. Again, always powered by our good friends over at the sportsguyspodcast.com. Thanks to Creative Inc. For all they do out there. Great website company out of California. And of course, presented by our good friends over at MitchMacs.com. If you haven't checked it out, you can go there for some great Backstage Pass merchandise. And our good friends over at Hank Jr. Productions. Check them out. The website is at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you go check out our sponsors and all the work that they do for us here on the program. Brandon Morrell flying solo here. Of course, tomorrow, Chris Barclay is going to join us. And then Friday, she won American Idol back in season 16. The winner of American Idol, Maddie Poppy, is going to join us on Friday here to wrap up the week on the program. Pleased to welcome in another great Canadian country artist I had a chance to get to know over the last few weeks. That's one of the great things about the program, is learning about new people always. And of course, she grew up on her grandfather's dairy farm in rural British Columbia, and of course, a great EP out there across all the digital platforms. Middle of the madness. We're going to talk about the madness and then some here with Danielle Ryan today on the program. Danielle, how you doing?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Well, great to have you here on the program. Well, let's get right to it because we were talking about our favorite songs on the EP as we kind of began the program today. And, you know, for me, it was Weatherman. And I tell you, it just really gave me telling stories. That's what you've done over the last 10 years of career, writing every song on this great composition of songs you guys chose to put out there. Tell me all about the madness and everything that you guys did to get this music out to your fans. This has to be very rewarding.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling. Like this past week has been super awesome and kind of indescribable in a way. But I basically picking 7 songs to do on the EP was so hard because I've been songwriting since I was in high school. So there's still some good songs from those days and stuff. So going through and picking them, I think the big thing that I wanted to do is just tell different stories and different parts of my life and stuff like that. So
when you look back at the album, now that it's finished, complete, done, produced, mastered, all that good stuff, what was your favorite one to step in and say, man, I get to put my vocals to this track? What was your favorite one?
I'm biased. I kind of liked all of them, but my favorite one recording was probably Pretending, just because when we recorded it, I just did full passes and sang the whole song all the way through. And that's all I did, because usually when you do a recording, you kind of do it line by line. You'll do full passes, but then you go through everything and nitpick and just do it all like that. And with Pretending, we just wanted it all as like a full raw take. And I like that way more. It's a lot easier.
I bet so. Tell me about Weatherman and kind of the backstory of how that was written and where it came from.
Yeah, so I grew up on my family dairy farm in Pitt Meadows, and basically, you know, everything we do is pretty dependent on the weather. When we're going to do crops, you check the weather and it says it's going to be sunny all week. So you start cutting to make some hay. And then by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's pouring rain. So just kind of took that concept of how the weatherman is rarely ever right and just related it to men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I tell you what brought my attention was, of course, the title track itself, but He's Not You was a great way to lead off the album and really kind of tell that story and set the tone for the entire EP. Tell me about He's Not You and how it came about.
Thank you. That one I actually wrote with a few friends, and I just had this idea of, I don't know, when you're dating someone and they can be everything perfect, but they're just not the right one for you. And yeah, that was just kind of how I felt in that moment and wrote about it.
That's the best thing. It's probably the best things about how songs just come out of nowhere, is creating something from nothing. Basically, as I always kind of say, it's like your newborn baby. It's just like your favorite lunch in a box or watching your favorite flower bloom. Is you get a chance to put your own personal feelings and thoughts into a song. Is that your favorite part of the writing process?
Yeah, it definitely is. And then there's also like a fine line of like being too personal too. So there's definitely like a bit of a filter with some things of like, you don't want to go too far or make it too like pinpointed, if that makes sense. But yeah, I definitely like putting my own stories in there. And He's Not You, actually, when I wrote it, I hated it. I didn't like it. And then we did like a demo of it, and then I was like, oh, it's actually good. But I remember like being in the writing room, being like so exhausted and being like, this song's not going anywhere. Like, this is so not good. And then later you look back and you're like, oh, never mind. It's actually okay.
Now, before the collection of works comes out for a full EP, you were busy with a single called Take Me Back. Talk about that one a little bit for me here on the show, and a little bit of kind of the backstory of that one, because it's one of the songs I kind of dug and got into from a single standpoint. Now that a lot of artists are releasing singles to keep kind of current information out there with their fans. Tell me about that one with Take Me Back.
Take Me Back, I just wrote about, so going through a little bit of a breakup and looking through Instagram. And while I was looking through, everyone's posting these photos that are captioned like, take me back to my take me back to when, I was skinny, or take me back to my college days, or whatever it is. And I just kind of took that concept and was like, take me back to when my relationship was good. And like, before we got to this like totally crumbled down moment. And then I got to record it and years later and bring it to life. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
I dug it. I did, no doubt. And I'll tell you what I'm also digging is it's pretty cool to see artists kind of, I say crossover, but I mean, last year you got a chance to put your personal vocals on a little bit of Christmas music, and I'm going to go there because you put one out called Ain't Christmas Without You. And I think we say that a lot, especially to a loved one or to a family member, if we can't see them for a significant period of time, or if it's a military situation, that kind of thing. I know I've got family members that have to go through that, but tell me about how that came about, and a little bit, was it fun to kind of cross over and do a little Christmas tune last year?
Yeah, I love Christmas. It's like my favorite holiday ever. So I love doing a good Christmas song. And that one I wrote, the music first for it. I wrote that one with my brother, and we were actually booked to go to the recording studio on Thursday, and on Wednesday night we were like banging our heads against the wall trying to write a song because we kind of left it to the last minute, but came up with that one, and I love it. I wish it wasn't a Christmas song, and the fact that I wish I could listen to it year round, but I have people that do actually. I still get stream notifications, and then I met someone a couple weeks ago and they were like, I listen to Ain't Christmas all the time, and I was like, you're that person streaming 80 streams a week.
I love the story that you talked about there at the top when I mentioned that your grandfather's dairy farm, and of course all about hard work and of course rural community. I've definitely grew up in the small towns down here, so I know all about the milking cows or taking care of cattle, or like I said, chickens, whatever type of farm life they have out there too, livestock, what have you. Tell me about that growing up. And it seems like you were right there with that type of music that even today we talk about, the powerful ladies in country music that are doing their thing out there and kind of spreading their message, like Casey Musgraves, people like that. Talk about growing up on the dairy farm and just learning the meaning of hard work from a young age.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. You just answered it for me a little bit. I think, growing up on the farm, I didn't really like it when I was a kid because, there's lots of responsibilities and lots of chores. And I remember waking up on Saturday mornings, and there'd be a list for me and all my siblings to complete of cleaning out chicken pens and eating goats and stuff like that. But ultimately, it really taught me hard work and how to take care of things, and working, reaping a reward too for things like that. And I think it's taught me a pretty great work ethic. And it's funny because now too, I'm I want that for my family in the future. And the things that I was I will never do this. Now I love it.
Well, I'll tell you what, it describes a lot of what you put on that EP, which is Middle of the Madness across all the digital platforms. Make sure you guys go check that out. It just came out April 22nd, so last week. Be sure and do that final week of April. Make a good little stocking stuff for iTunes gift card, whatever you guys do out there to stream or download your music. Well, hey, we reached that point in the program. Definitely would love to have you play a track for us from the album. It's all yours, and definitely, I would say, dealer's choice.
All right. I'm going to do Take Me Back, I think.
Okay. All righty.
That'll be a fun one. So here we go.
That'll work.
This one's live too, eh?
Sure is.
Yeah. I don't know how we got here. Sour forever. Then didn't care we watched it fall. Down, down, down to the ground. One day we're dreaming Destiny is slipping right through my hands. We didn't know what love was until we lost it. Ooh, baby, it's tragic. Ooh, used to be magic. So take me back to when we were young, when it was easy. I get lost in your kiss, spend Friday night smoking cigarettes. A good girl living in the moment. Say we take it slow, but lost in the dark. Let you go, I feel safe in your arms. Money in the games, things people say left us black and blue. So take me back to when it was just me and you. Oh, me and you. I got the picture, you got my heart. I'm only over here, but hey, ain't gonna call, sit around, play it all over in my head. Ooh, I lost another reverie. Ooh, I'm more than just a memory. So take me back to when we were young. It was easy. I get lost in your kiss. Spend Friday night smoking cigarettes. A good girl living in the moment. Say we take it slow, but lost in the dark. Don't wanna let you go. I feel safe in your arms. Money in the games, things people say like it's black and blue. So take me back to when it was just me and you. Oh, me and you. I miss everything we had. I wish you would take me back. Take me back, take me back to when we were young. When it was easy, I get lost in your kiss. Spend Friday night smoking cigarettes. A good girl living in the moment. Say we take it slow, but lost in the dark. Don't wanna let you go. I feel safe in your arms. Money in the games, things people say left us black and blue. So take me back to when it was just me and you. Oh, me and you. It was just me and you. Me and you.
I love it. It's Danielle Ryan here on the Backstage Pass. So check her out at DanielleRyanMusic.com. And of course, the latest EP out there is Middle of the Madness. We've talked a lot about today on the program. One of my favorites there, Take Me Back. I tell you, so speaking of the Take Me Back, I'd love to have a shot of whiskey or something right now. Man, my voice is trying to hold up from that. We went to a game last week of baseball, and I am losing my, you can imagine. Yeah, weekend on Sunday. It was a Sunday. So it's like I cheered so hard, Danielle. It was crazy. I imagine how you guys feel as singers. That leads me to a good question, though, because I tell you, I love segues. How do you take care of your voice, knowing that you guys are going to perform so many days out of the year, or do these live streams, or whatever the case may be, when you're using the pipes God gave you and the gift? How do you take care of your voice as a musician?
Well, here's the thing. I haven't played enough shows recently to be able to like actually vouch for this, but usually it's like a lot of tea and a lot of like the Vicks. There's like a face cover, like steamer, basically that you use when you're sick. Use that and it like warms your vocal cords. I love that. And then like big thing would be not talking before the show, which I don't ever do, but that's apparently something you're supposed to do. But yeah, I'm always like yell talking before I go on stage, so that'll do it too.
That'll do it. Yeah, check into this VIX thing. I'm going to have to do that. Yeah. We'll take a quick timeout, get a word in for our good boys over at MitchMacs.com for official Backstage Pass merchandise. Guys, if you haven't checked it out, it's free shipping worldwide. Everybody loves to shop online, so we appreciate the help out there. Grab some of that merch. And then also check out our guest, DanielleRyanMusic.com. I'm sure there's a lot of cool merch on there too. So men's, ladies apparel and caps and all kind of cool stuff, coffee mugs. That's what we got for our website. And I'm sure Danielle's got a great selection of stuff out there. So be sure and do that and go get Middle of the Madness while you're at it. You can actually do it during this break right here. Time out here on the Backstage Pass. Coming right back. More with Danielle here on the Backstage Pass presented by MitchMacs.com and our good friends over at Hank Jr. Productions. Hang tight. Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. I do love that commercial. I tell you, like, it's paint on the wall. I always call that just one of those things you kind of got to see out there. And I say sometimes a lot of things. Check them out, MitchMacs.com for the official Backstage Pass merchandise. I was just looking at DanielleRyanMusic.com, and there's some pretty cool stuff on there. I may have to go grab me a couple of T-shirts and some cool stuff out there. So definitely check her out on the website. Middle of the Madness is the current EP out there, and fantastic artist joining us today here on the show. You know, we talked a little bit about this, but I wanted to kind of build on it a little bit, you know, growing up on that dairy farm, but also listening to powerful women, Casey Musgraves, Katy Perry, just a few of the artists that you mentioned for you as an artist, somebody who looked up to people like that, who just say what they want to say, put out the type of music they want to put out. Loretta Lynn was an example I found in doing research on you. At the same time, looking back, those ladies meant so much to you. Why was that the case?
I think there's just something to be said for women who write what they want to write and say how they feel. And I think those women in particular have done a really good job of that. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. And it speaks to me, and they all say in their own way too. There's always different ways, you know, like Katy Perry's is definitely more, you know, organized pop. And then like Loretta Lynn, since she's more of a classic, she was kind of talking on subjects that people didn't talk about. And then you could say the same for Casey Musgraves too, right? So I don't know. I think it's just everyone has their different way of saying things, and it just hits me in a different way.
That's cool. And kind of formulate your own opinions and take what you take from those songs and build on that, no doubt. Tell me about this, because it's pretty cool. You mentioned doing this for a long time, putting out a collection of works now with Middle of the Madness, but the national media attention from Canadian Country Music Association, different programs. I know you've done things with Chevy from the Tailgate Contest, all that kind of stuff that really shapes you as an artist. And of course, I've had, you know, definitely artists come on here who participated in The Voice, Idol. What does that do for your career? And at the same time, how cool is it to just get that type of media attention?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's cool to see too, just the way of how everything works together, and how there's always these new opportunities coming around as well. Like it just kind of always helps, and there's always more things to do. And right now I'm in this XM Top of Country contest with the CCMAs. And that in itself is just another awesome opportunity and something that I am like honored to be a part of and get to compete with. And yeah, they all just kind of have their own spots. Like the Chevy from the Tailgate contest was, I won 10 grand with that. So I got to make more music. And yeah, it's all just, they're great opportunities. So they definitely give you a platform to stand on and things to put under your belt.
And also leading to the development deal you got with 604 Records. Tell me about that, because that's a huge, I mean, just a great feather in your cap at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, because I didn't expect it, honestly. It was just something that, kind of came up in conversation and went from there. Yeah, it's been something that's definitely been great, because they believe in my vision and they believe in what I kind of want to do and stuff, which is something I had to fight for a lot, being in this industry. So yeah, that was like really nice. And to have a team that is your fan group is like, makes everything pretty easy.
Now, a very special person helped you, I believe, with the production on this album currently now for Middle of the Madness. Talk to me about this, because this gentleman's worked with, I believe, Nickelback, and did a lot of cool things with a lot of songs. I mean, you wrote a lot of the songs, every song there on this current EP, but different arrangements, production. Tell me about this person, because I like it coming from you when it says the name, because a very special gentleman who's actually been in the music industry for quite some time.
Yeah, I was honored. I got to work with Brian Howes, who, as you said, has worked with Nickelback and a lot of other great artists. I wanted to work with him for a few years. He told me that he was doing country music and doing some things on that side of things, because that's not really his genre. And I was like, oh, I would love to work with him, just because I've always thought it's cool to have somebody who's not actually country make country, because they just have different influence as well to pull in. And so I got to work with him for probably like 6 months. We worked on these songs for, which is a really long time to complete an EP, but he was super passionate about the project, which is something that made me even like more eager to want to work with him, because when you're working with someone who actually believes in you and believes in what you're doing and the songs you're making and actually thinks that it's good, they're going to make it really good. So yeah, he's done amazing things for this album and really brought these songs that I basically wrote on my bedroom floor to life. So
now, did I read somewhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, but your brother's also in the music industry. Okay. And did he have any say on this album as well?
Okay, so my brother's not like in the music industry. My brother's just my brother, and he writes a bunch of songs with me. It's kind of how it started. Yeah, he's always just kind of written with me, and that's that. He's really good at it, and he's, again, just as invested in everything that goes on with me. So he's the first person to be like, those lyrics aren't good enough, or we can make this better, or anything, any ideas about music videos, just everything to do with what I do. He always has something creative and genius to say about it. So he's a really good person to have around.
All right, back to the record before we have you play the next track. I loved Good Times, and what I liked about Good Times was I get to hear it in advance. Like, I went and put my boots on, and I was like, I'm going to go to this show tonight and see if I'm not going to do some boot stomping kind of song. It made me want to stomp my boots on the dance floor. Good Times had a great feel, man. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Where did you kind of give me the backstory of that one a little bit and kind of build on just the writing of it was fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Yeah, Good Times. Good Times actually used to be a really long song. The chorus used to be like triple as long, and it was like, it used to be this huge song. And then my brother and I got together and we rewrote kind of what I had out there and made it a little bit better and a little bit more cohesive of a song. And I've always loved it, because it's totally true. I think like the best moments I've ever had in my life are always just around good people. It really doesn't matter where you are, and sometimes the best times, which kills me, like can't be recreated. So I just wanted to kind of capture that idea.
Oh, you certainly did that. Like I said, it got to me. Plus, like I said, I love the album cover. Was it kind of I always ask this one, was it an easy one to kind of pick on the album cover, looking at it the way it was? I love the fact that you kind of like running downwards an angle. And from what I saw, the clouds in the background too for the record for Middle of the Madness. Tell me about the arrangement of the album cover.
Yeah, so the album cover, my brother and I actually just took in our backyard. It was during the pandemic and everything was like shut down, and I had this idea that I wanted to be like dangling off a ladder. So I built this whole ladder in the barn and gave my brother my camera and was like, here, take some pictures. And that was that. That was how we got the photo for it. Yeah.
That's cool. I love that. See, everything comes to light here on the show, no doubt, too. Definitely love that one. So it's a lot of great songs out there. Make sure you guys check it out, including the songs she performed, Take Me Back, Good Times, Pretending, which I know is a favorite of yours, Weatherman, He's Not You. So all the ones we're talking about today are on that record that came out April 22nd. Also, Danielle Ryan, music.com out there. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll have you play. Let's play another one here. Why not?
I'm going to play Weatherman because you said you liked that one.
I did.
Turn on the TV. Saw a guy just like you. Sure, he looks handsome, but he don't tell the truth. He says these things when it's late at night, but then morning comes, he never gets it right. Promise the sun, and then it rains. Looks like I got let down once again. I don't know why I believe you. Only a 10% chance, telling the truth just when I think it's blue skies. Storm rolls by your ex, all the plans that we had, you changed. Like the weatherman, like the weatherman. Never quite knowing just what to expect. You change like the seasons. You cloud my judgment. Record breaking lows, time after time. What gets me the most, always wrong, and you think it's alright. Promise the sun, and then it rains. Looks like I got let down once again. I don't know why I believe you. Only a 10% chance, telling the truth just when I think it's blue skies. The storm rolls by your ex, all the plans that we had, you changed. Like the weatherman, like the weatherman. No wind could blow this over, no wind could wash us clean. Now the sky is blue as I'm feeling, nothing left for me. You took all your sweet little lies to another degree. You promised the sun, and then it rains. Looks like I got let down once again. I don't know why I believe you. Only a 10% chance, telling the truth just when I think it's blue skies. Storm rolls by your ex, all the plans that we had, you changed. Like the weatherman, you changed. Like the weatherman,
You can see why it was my favorite here. Back on the show here, the Backstage Pass, thanks to MitchMacs.com and our good friends over at Hank Jr. Productions. Weatherman out there from Canadian country artist Danielle Ryan. It's Middle of the Madness on that particular EP, so make sure you guys go check that out. Well, I'll tell you what, I love to wrap up the shows like this. It's a little thing called Rapid Fire. Danielle, the good thing is there's no right or wrong answers. We just have a little fun, get to know you more on a personal basis, and yeah, we get to have some fun here. So here we go. All right, favorite food, no matter what type of cuisine it is, whether you like to cook it or just get it for takeout. And with that food, what do you like to drink with it?
Oh, my favorite food? I like mac and cheese.
Okay, that's a good food. Yep.
That's my favorite. And I like a glass of white wine.
Okay. Any brand in particular for the white wine?
I like a good Sauvignon Blanc,
Okay.
but you know, I'll do anything. I also like a good glass of chocolate milk. You can't go wrong. I like juice. Yeah, I like the drinks. Yeah.
All right, that's a good thing too. All right, coffee drinker.
Oh yeah, I love coffee. I'm kind of a coffee snob. Like, coffee has to be so hot, otherwise I will make it into iced coffee immediately. Like if I make coffee and forget about it for a few minutes, I'm like, we're putting ice in this because there's no coming back.
I like that. All right, favorite movie and cartoon growing up. What or even today? What series do you kind of get into when you binge watch something?
Movie? I like Marley and Me. That's my favorite, with like Owen Wilson and Jennifer Aniston, the dog dying. Yeah, I love that one. And then what did you say? TV show?
Yeah, TV show to binge watch or just cartoon growing up. What'd you enjoy?
I was never really into like cartoons. I have stupid shows. I love like Friends and like That's So Raven and like I don't know, really like 30 Rock. I always like that one, or Parks and Rec. They're good. I like shows too that like I've already seen before, and then I just rewatch them because like I'm never actually really watching TV, but it's always on in my house. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that too. Now, I've had a lot of great Canadian country artists here on the program. Just last week, I was talking to a good friend of the show, Brett Kissel, came by. And so love Brett when he comes on. We've talked to so many great people. I've forgotten a lot of the names, but I know Terry Clark was one of them too. A while back, we did a show with her. All right, so going back to 90s country, where I'm pulling this from, what was your favorite top 2 or 3 90s country songs from a female standpoint and a male standpoint?
Okay. I don't know the years of these songs though.
Okay.
Because I was born in 95, so it's not like I was like, oh, I remember that was like my graduation day song. Is what I'm saying. Like, I just know that they're from back. But I love Drive by Alan Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe one of my favorite songs. I love the story that it tells. So sweet. And Shania Twain, Don't Be Stupid. I love that one too. But I don't know if that might be 2000s, but I'm pretty sure it's the 90s. Yeah.
I call that the 90s. She had so many back that particular.
It's always hard. Like I think Up was like 2003 or something around there,
Mm-hmm.
which that to me I think of 90s when I think of it though, but it wasn't.
No. I love that. All right, you'll love this one. Favorite car you ever got to test drive? You knew you couldn't buy it off the lot, but what was one of your favorite cars you got to test drive, or did you buy it off the lot?
Okay, so I've never actually like test driven a vehicle.
Okay.
The only one I ever test drove was a car I still own, which is like a 2015 Chevy Cruze.
Okay. Hey, car's a car.
I've like sat in cars. Like for some reason I got invited. I shouldn't have been invited. My brother and I got invited when we were in Calgary to go to this like, I don't know what it was. It was like a restaurant opening, but then there were also tons of like Porsches and Lamborghinis and like things.
Wow.
So I got to like sit in those. And since we had like driven there on a road trip, like we were essentially there to record. So like we didn't expect, like a gala endeavor. So I was literally wearing like jeans and like sneakers, and there's all these formal people around, like sitting on top of Lamborghinis. Yeah, but that was cool.
I like that. All right, you'll love this one too, and we'll wrap it up with this one. Do you remember the title of the song, title of the first song that you ever wrote? Or if you don't remember the title, what was the song about?
Okay, so the first song I ever wrote was called Changed Your Mind. And it was very clever. And the whole start of the song was about how this guy had changed his mind. And then after the bridge, it explains that he comes back to me, but then like I don't want him anymore because I changed my mind. And
that twist.
Yeah, that was when I was like 13. That was my first song. The only reason I remember it is because like I rode that one to the top, man. Like I sung that every day, every open mic night. So yeah.
That's amazing that you can remember that too. And some people are like, I don't know, I just forgot. It's been 15, 20 years since I, still write songs today, but I'll remember the first one. But that's pretty cool that you have that for a memory. Well, I tell people all the time, man, we feature some of the best artists here on the program. Middle of the Madness is out there across all the platforms. Male or female, it's going to hit you in a lot of ways out there. If you've been through life and wanted a collection of works, collection of songs that just have that sonic foundation, man, go grab it across all the platforms out there. Thanks to Hank Jr. Productions and our good friends over at MitchMacs.com. Check her out also at DanielleRyanMusic.com. Hey, enjoy the visit for the first time on the show. You knocked it out of the park. Let's do this again. What do you say?
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I apologize for my
No, it's all good. The show must go on. We were here, we did it, and that's the beautiful part of it too as well, just like the record, no doubt. Tomorrow, Chris Barclay is going to join us, and then Friday, season 16 winner of American Idol. Looking forward to that. Maddie Poppy is going to come on and tell us about what's going on in her camp, and then a whole lot more. They're down to the top 10 of the competition now, so best of luck to the remaining contestants on season 20 of Idol. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 o'clock on the Backstage Pass here with Chris Barclay, another fantastic artist here on the show. Talk to you then. See you soon.